Thank you very much. My name is Gion Linder. I am Head of Access Services at SwissText, which is a company of the public broadcaster in Switzerland. We do subtitling, also live subtitling, of course, audio description, and signed programs. But I think I'm here because I'm also chairing the Eurovision Access Services Experts Group, which is a group, a more informal group of the European Broadcasting Union, who once a year organizes a conference who cares especially about topics for broadcasters. Last year we were in Geneva, and this year we will be on an island, but I won't tell you where because the save the date has not yet been sent out. So the thing I would like to present you first is, so the topic I'm talking about first is how do European broadcasters deal with the need of live respeaking. The first thing I would like to present you is a small part of a survey we have conducted 3 years ago, and who shows more or less how widespread or not widespread access services are across Europe. So these are the countries we've asked for information. The first question we asked was, do you outsource your access services? And as you can see, the majority of the broadcasters outsource their services, not only live services, also pre-recorded programs. But I left this slide in the presentation because it shows that there is a market for companies who provide live respeaking. So lots of public broadcasters outsource the service. Then a slide about the cost. The cost of access services depends, of course, on the size of the country. For smaller countries, it's much more difficult than for big countries, and of course also for countries with several languages, it's also more expensive. So I know what I'm talking about because we're a small country and we have more than 3 languages. So, but the average, and this is the important figure here, is the access service cost of a broadcaster is about 0.5% of the cost of his whole cost. And I cannot tell you exactly where the lowest figure comes from and when the highest comes from, but I can tell you the one with 0.1% is a big country, and the figure with 1.23% is a small country. This is not a secret. So the survey we conducted 3 years ago also had in mind other services like audio subtitling. I won't tell you what it is because for most countries it's not that important. Also audio description and also signed programs. But I think in all major countries, subtitling is the most important access service they provide. And let's go now more into details. This is the most important slide I show you because it shows, so that the darker a country is, the more access services it provides. The most advanced countries are the UK, France, and Spain, because there nearly everything, nearly all the content of the public broadcaster, of all broadcasters, are subtitled. Germany is also good, but here it's only the public broadcasters who provide subtitling. The private ones also provide subtitling, but only some subtitling, so not the whole content is subtitled. Then we have some smaller countries who provide less. And there's even a mistake, I think, because Portugal provides access services, but I think we did not get any data from Portugal. Meanwhile, I can tell you that some of these countries have improved. So, for instance, Switzerland has improved because it's the survey is 3 years old. But this includes all subtitles, so not only live subtitles. So, does the broadcaster offer closed or open subtitles? This is an important question because only if a broadcaster offers closed captions, the broadcaster can provide live captions, because open subtitles, which means they are part of the image, are so burdened in subtitles, are not live subtitles. Then the question, have the associations of the hearing impaired requested subtitles on all devices? In most countries, of course, the associations of the hearing impaired have requested that. Does the media authorities require subtitling? Yes, in most countries this is the case. And do you perform additional editing of subtitles to prepare content for online delivery? This is also, I think, an important question, because the live subtitles are never perfect. They are not in sync. They have omissions and they have mistakes. So it takes some time to re-edit the content when it is put online. And this is also maybe an interesting slide. What are the biggest obstacles for subtitling? It's cost, it's quality, and there are also technical issues. So this is the survey we have done 3 years ago. And now I want to give you some examples how broadcasters across Europe deal with live subtitling, intralingual subtitling. Let's begin with France, because France is a very, let's say, special example, or let's say unique example. Because in France, the live programs are mainly subtitled by 4 persons. They have 2 respeakers and 2 correctors. By the way, the French call their respeakers parrots. I'm not kidding. And they have always 4 persons, because I think for French, grammatical mistakes should be punished by death or something like this. That's why they have 2 correctors. So the advantage is that there are nearly no mistakes in the subtitles, but they have a huge delay, a really huge delay. I have recorded some programs years ago from French television and sent it to Pablo Romero Fresco, and he did the calculation what the delay was, and he said, and in most programs I have recorded, the delay was between 30 and 40 seconds. So it's really a huge delay they have, and I think more or less it's still the same. But they don't have any mistakes, so that's the advantage in France. But what I can say, that most countries use Dragon as a voice recognition system, and they mainly do live coverage with 2, sometimes with 1 person, depending on the length of the program. Some of them correct the mistakes before transmission, especially if they broadcast the subtitles in block mode. Others, like in the UK, they reformulate the content after a double dash. That they cannot correct because they broadcast the subtitles word by word. But let's say Dragon can be used only in countries which speak one of the big languages. Let's say languages like Lithuanian, Slovenian, or others don't have a respeaking program, because Dragon does not provide their language. And so I can talk about some examples. Like in Denmark, the government has funded an own respeaking program, because I think there are only 5 million Danish people, and so the government funded a respeaking system which is used by Denmark's radio, the public broadcaster. Or another example I can tell you is the one in Slovenia. There is no voice recognition system in Slovenian, and last week I talked to the person in charge, and she told me that in Slovenia live programs are not subtitled. So what they do, after the broadcast, they edit the program and put it online, and they tell to the deaf and hard of hearing people to follow the programs on catch-up TV and not on the live program. There are some countries who use syllable-based systems like Velotype. We will see it, I think, this afternoon. But honestly, I have to tell you that I don't know too much about these systems, so I'm very curious to see how it works. There are also countries who work with fast speed keyboards, like in Norway. Also in Norwegian, there is no voice recognition system. So what they have a system where a software proposes words. This is especially for long words, and so with this program, it's possible to edit the contents in a much faster way. Portugal is also a very interesting case, because Portugal is, to my knowledge, the only country where programs are completely automated, subtitled live. They have live recognition program, which works fine. Has told me the person in charge at RTP. And what they do, they learn the system to improve. And as far as he has told me, there are no complaints from the deaf and from the hard of hearing. But of course, this is a complete verbatim subtitling, and so I guess that people who have problems with reading won't be able to follow. So, I have tried to give you more or less an overview. What is important to me as a broadcaster is also the measurement of the quality of subtitles. We have heard this morning that there is the NER model. With this model, you can assess the quality of live subtitles. So we do regularly, we do assessments of live broadcasts, but I have to tell you, it's a huge effort, a really big effort to do this evaluation. And I think that broadcasters would be very grateful if there is a solution how to measure the quality of live programs in a much easier way.